Now, shifting to a topic I know you're particularly passionate about, last Thursday, the Supreme Court ruled to restrict the EPA's ability to regulate greenhouse gases. You were strongly critical of this ruling, saying that the federal government would now be much less effective at limiting pollution and shift more of the burden to the state. How is Washington state going to pick up some of that burden?
Well, we have to recognize a reality. At the moment, under this Supreme Court decision, the Supreme Court has kneecapped the ability of the federal government to act boldly and forcefully against climate pollution. And we have to understand in my state that that means we have to accelerate our efforts. Now, we've been pedaling really hard in our state against climate change. I think it's fair to say that we have the probably the most aggressive and environmentally just climate change and clean energy policies in the country. Others have done great work. California's doing some good work. Oregon's doing some good work. So, but we need to accelerate it because even in our state, given the hole in the federal effort, our state is going to have to accelerate our efforts to reduce pollution. We've got a great zero 100% clean electrical grid bill. We have the nation's best cap and invest bill to restrain pollution and invest it that also embraces environmental justice because we know the communities that have been swallowing this pollution longest are those who live in poverty and BIPOC communities. We have a good low carbon fuel standard. We just prohibited hooking up gas in commercial vehicles after commercial buildings after 2023, but we need to continue to accelerate those efforts actually to meet our state's own climate goals. So the message is the federal government now is driving a car with three wheels, but we need to accelerate ours in states, and that'll be the case. Now, here's the good news. Actions are taking place. I and former Governor Brown helped form the U.S. Climate Alliance a few years ago when Trump came into office. We now have 24 states that are part of the U.S. Climate Alliance that are taking measures against climate change. So over 60% of the U.S. economy comes from these 24 states. These states are making action against climate change. And again, this is another reason why governor's races are so important this year, so that the work of Steve Sisolak in Nevada and Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan can continue to advance the ball against climate change. I look out my window here. I live in a little island just west of Seattle. And I say the effects in my hometown. We had a kelp forest that used to be out here, disappeared, that helped our endangered salmon live. Actually disappeared because the waters of Puget Sound are getting too hot for kelp to live in. Salmon could not go up our local river because the waters were too hot. We had the most dangerous air quality in the world, I'm sad to say, last summer. When the Methow Valley was on fire and the smoke, our kids couldn't go outside for a week and play, literally. So we need state action. We're getting it from Democratic states and Democratic governors. But we have to understand this is just the beginning of the Supreme Court sort of reign of terror. I hate to use that term, but I think it's true. This effort to prevent the majority will in this country has just started. You know, they just took this case Moore versus Harper, which threatens our basic ability to count the votes and have fair representation in the House of Representatives. So we're going to have to be more aggressive in our states, and that's going to be the order of the day.